Awesome. Think we're live. Hey everybody. Going to do some more JSON API stuff today. What we're looking at today is nested resource includes. So JSON API allows you to include relationships of a specific resource. So if you get a user, you might want to get all that user's posts, and then you might want to get all that user's posts and all those posts comments or something like that. So it's kind of a way to like nest those includes to kind of go further and further down the line. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of try and tackle that. I think that's the last kind of like complicated bit to it all. Not that I don't think it's necessarily a complicated problem, but I haven't put much thought into it. So I just thought it'd be fun to dig into that and see if we can get that going. So we'll have a bit of a look at that. So again, I'm not going to go over all the stuff that like JSON API is, but what you can do, if I just search include here, hopefully we'll come across how this works. Yeah, so we've got a payload here, and we've got these relationships, and we can see that there is an author, and they've got their type is people and their ID is 9, and then included down here is people 9 and then some attributes about that author. And the URL to get that, if I do include, so it looks something like this. So you've got the URL to the resource, and then query include is equal to comments, and then it might be include is equal to comments.author. So that gets all the comments for this article, or article number 1, and also the author for those comments. So gonna have a look to see if we can work out how to do that. So come over here. So this is what we're gonna kind of focus on today, is nested relationship includes. So we should be able to go to, users /1 question mark include is equal to author. Now we've already got that functionality working in the package. So that's all happening already. If we come to our relationships, so we can return relationships from our thing here, and then we say we only want the requested relationships, and to determine that, we look at that include query and then kind of explode that and go through the process of including that in the relationship. And then in the actual relationship key, we only include the resource identifier, which is the ID and the type, and then the actual resource itself, the author or the comment that is kind of included, is then available in a key called included. I don't know if that totally made sense, but we can have a look at some tests to just look at that again. So if we go to test, it includes attributes. No, we don't want that. Test includes attributes. Oh, this looks like we're including the author here. So test it resolves nested relationships. I probably shouldn't have called it. Oh yeah, well, I guess they are nested, but I guess we need like sub-nested. Maybe that should actually just be test it resolves relationships. I think that's probably better. Maybe I've kind of loaded the word nested there for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but that's cool. So this is just test it resolves relationships, and it kind of resolves this relationship here. So you'd do a request like this to the test route, and you include the author, and you should get the main resource, which is here, and then this is the author, which is being added to the relationships key. There's the data, which is the resource identifier, the type and the ID. But the actual author, all the the values and the attributes of the author are actually down here in the included key. So that works, but it's flat. We can't go and now get the author's profile or something like that. So we need to see if we can kind of work out how to do that. So that's the plan. That's the plan, is to try and check that out and work out how to do that. Okay, so what we want to do is probably start with a test. So let's do that. So we'll just come down the bottom here, and we'll go public function test it can include. This time I'm going to use the word nested relationships. And we're going to have a resource. Am I calling them resources? I just want to get my naming consistent. I am calling them resources. All right, well, I'll just steal that. Okay, so we've got a resource. and it's a basic resource, which is just this class here. There's nothing to it whatsoever because in each test we override all the values anyway. And then we've got a new class that extends the JSON API resource. So we'll just set this test up a little bit. So what do we want to see here? We want to actually, we'll do a response is equal to this get JSON, and we want to get the test route. So let's do that. And then we're going to want to make some assertions here. So we'll assert that it's okay, make sure that everything's happy like we think it will be, and then we'll do a response assert exact JSON, which is what we've been doing for this one. And we'll map this out in a second, but first of all, we'll kind of map out what we're going to send through. So what do we want to do? So don't need to worry about any, we'll do some attributes. So we'll do a protected function to attributes, and we'll send through the request, and that's going to return an array. And what will we return here? Oh, can't spell. Okay, so here what we're going to return is we'll just return the name, and this will be Tim. Okay, so that's great. Now what we want is to make this pass. So we're going to go, all right, data is, we've got, wait, what do we have? Data attribute, which is an object, yes. And then it's going to have an ID, which is the expected ID, and then a type, which is basic resources. And then we'll have attributes, and this will be our name is equal to Tim. And then we'll have relationships, which will be empty, relationships, and that will just be an empty array. And I think that should pass. Yeah, cool. So that's our test passing. So that's good. Excellent. So now we need to kind of augment this a little bit more. So we've done two attributes here. So now we want to do a two relationships. So we'll do protected function to relationships, and we want to return an array. We've got so we're going to have what will we call this? We'll call this yeah, we'll call them nested. Well, this is nested. This is, we'll call this just the relationship. First degree relationship. Yep, we'll have a first degree and a second degree relationship. That shouldn't return an array. That should return a callable. And this is going to return a new class that extends the JSON resource, JSON API resource, and okay, and that should do the trick, but we do need to pass something through here. And so what we'll return is a new basic resource. Do we have a nested resource? Yeah, we do. Okay, we do have a class called nested resource. So we'll just use nested resource. And it needs an ID. So we'll do ID is nested level 1. I don't like my inconsistent naming here at all, so let's change this to nested level 1, and then we can have a nested level 2, because I think I've used the word nested a fair bit, so we'll just run with that. Cool, so we've got nested level 2, it's going to return that. So then we'll do public function to attributes, because we want to make sure that it's getting what it expects as well, and then return. So this is going to be, I'm going to add the name here of my doggo. Okay, so nested level 1, is that. So we should see those attributes on here as well. They won't be there right now because we need to include nested level 1. All right, and then we should have a relationship in here, and it will be nested level 1, and it's going to be an ID of nested. What was the ID? Nested level 1. Okay, so that's the wording I've used everywhere. Level 1, and the type is the nested resources, because it camel cases and pluralizes the class itself. So it kind of just guesses it from here, just kind of using usual Laravel conventions. So nested resources, so that's cool. Okay, so that's only, well, what does this work? No, it doesn't work. What have we done? So attributes, all right, because we need the include. So that's the identifier, but then we should see the name in the includes now. So this is our data here. So we'll go to the end of that and we'll go included. I can never remember if it's included or includes, but it must be included by the looks of it. Okay, included, and that's going to be an array. It's going to have these in there, so we'll paste that in, and then this will have attributes because they all share the same shape where they've got the attributes. So basically every resource will have like the ID, the type, the attributes array, well, the attributes object, it's just an array in PHP, and the relationships object as well, and that'll just be empty. So what we need is attributes, and this will be name is equal to Taz, and then under here we'll have relationships, and that'll just be an empty array. It is not happy because what did I not do? Missed a comment, comma. Okay, so something isn't happy, so now let's have a look at the fail and test and see why is it not happy. So we've got attributes, name is Tim, ID is expected ID, relationships, nested level 1. It's supposed to have a data field, which it doesn't have. So the relationships is it supposed to have a data field? I always forget this, and this is why I just want something to handle all this for me. So let's have a look at data. Okay, so the type and the ID of a relationship is in a data tag. So this should be data, and that should be like that. And there we go. And now it's passing. Cool. So fix that one. Good. So that's good. But this is just a test that we've already got, right? So now we want to go even deeper. So we've included the nested level 1, but what we want to then do is do a full stop and do nested level 2. And the full stop syntax is in here. So it's something like, what is it? Comments, author.comments. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so it's like comments.author. So here we're basically doing one relationship, which is nested level 1. Oh, and then I deleted it. And then we've got nested level 2 here as well. So that's what we're trying to sort out there. So we'll do that. And what have we got here? So why did that stop passing? Oh, okay. Yep, I know. Okay, so that's failing, which is to be expected right now. And so let's test this. So this is going to return another thing. So if we go to attributes here, and then this one is going to have public function to relationships, and this is going to be request, and an array, cool. And this is going to return, and basically it's going to like copy this and return that. and nested level 1 is going to go to 2. Do the same thing there. 2 attributes. So this one will do my partner, Jazz. And then we'll just ditch this and see if that is happy now. So what's that? That's that. So that should get us sorted. All right. 2 relationships there. So now what we should have is this thing here. So this is actually going to have a relationship, and it's going to have a nested level 2, and that's going to have a data tag. Oops. And the ID should be nested level 2, and the type should be nested resources. Excellent. So that's that there. But then the value of this thing should also be included. So what do we want here? Probably want down here, we're going to need another object in here. So we'll throw this in. Oop, can't do that. And this is going to be an ID, and that's going to be nested level 2. And then we've got a type, which is nested resources. We're going to have a, what are we going to have? A attributes, and that's going to be name is equal to Jazz. And then we'll have relationships, and that's going to be an empty array. Okay, so I think that's pretty close. So nested attributes relationship, that is the nested relationship. And I just want to check that that's exactly how that kind of works when we do that thing. So we're going to find, because I don't know, where would it, comments.author. Just want to check this response and make sure it's what I'm expecting it to be. Okay, so this is includes here. So that looks right to me, I reckon. Cool. Excellent. Okay. So comments, yep, that's got relationships in there. So I think that should be good. Yep. That looks good. Cool. So that means that the way this kind of works is that this relationship, this identifier here, points to this object, the first included object, and the first included object has a relationship that then points to this one. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. So now we've got to make this test pass because it very much is not passing. So we'll come to our class. And we'll start to kind of have a look at how this kind of comes together. So 2 relationships, nothing needs to change in here. So what we do is we get all the relationships and then we work out what are the requested relationships, and we pluck out only those, and then we map over them to get the values. So we're going to need a way to kind of like nest and like tell each sub resource which resource it is. And in here, nested, so this is gonna includes, so if we run the last one, something that should have broken is, so data, attributes, name, expected ID. Okay, so relationships is empty. So the first thing I want to do is get the nested level 1 relationships, which was previously working again, and then we'll look at the nesting situation. And the reason that that is broken is because we now have the dot to separate the two, and it doesn't know how to split those. So what we will do here, at least initially, just to kind of get that one bit back, is we're gonna go includes is equal to explode, and we're gonna explode on the dot, and we're gonna go includes, and then this is gonna explode includes just the first one, because that should at least get that nested resource back in there. And there it is, relationships nested resource. So that did bring that resource back, which is cool. But we don't have nested level 2 in here anywhere. So relationships nested level 2. Oh wait, what's expected and actual? I'm looking at the wrong one, aren't I? Relationships, yep, we do have nested level 1 in there, which is good. But its resources down here, relationships, is empty. So we need to work out a way to now push that down further. So, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle that? So, we're going to need a way to determine, okay, so we're going to have what will we have here? We'll have a private string. This is the include prefix, and that's going to be an empty string. Okay. And then what we'll be able to do is kind of like add to this in other ones. So it'd be like users, and then it'll be users dot on and all sorts of things. So I think the first thing we're going to do is start with that. So now what we need to do is go, okay, so now we need a way to set this. Okay, so we're going to go, where's our public functions that are public function to array with, okay, so I'm going to say public function nested, what's good, some good naming for this? Include prefix is, so with include prefix, and prefix will be this. Okay, and then what will we return? Maybe we can return ourself. Yeah, maybe that. We might not need that. I'll just return void for now, and we can not worry about it. And so this will go this prefix, and it's going to be equal to the prefix that you've sent in, but then we probably want to add a dot after it. So I think that a dot after it, that could, well, actually, we'll just leave the prefix as whatever we've been sent through. Yeah, include prefix. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so that means that when we are resolving the relationships, what we need to do, so past relationships, it passes the includes, so gets the ones that we want, and we only requested relationships is going to be this, and it's going to be like everything. So if the include prefix is equal to an empty string, do we want it to start as an empty string? I feel like I want it to just always be a string, yeah. So then we can have that type there. So if it's an empty string, we'll just return that, and that means we're at the very top level. Otherwise, include prefix might be something like, so what was it'd be like nested level 1 is the current prefix. And so we need to then explode that, And what is that going to be? They're all the nested. So we're going to, right. So what we're going to do is we still want to get the includes to be exploded. Includes is equal to that. And what would that be then? That would be an array, and it's going to be like nested level 1 dot nested level 2. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, so if this include prefix is equal to an empty string, then we just want to return the includes. We don't need to do anything there. But otherwise, what we need to do is loop over all these, find any that start with the nested resource, the include prefix, trim that off, and then return it. And we only want to get ones that start with that actually. So, okay, so we'll do a, we'll collect these things. So we'll collect our includes, and then we will, so we'll probably just return from here because I reckon we can probably do this with a pipeline. So we're going to map over all of these, and we're going to get a include, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the string helper, and we'll just import that. Yes, cool. So we've got the string helper now, and what we want to do is pull this out. Okay, so we want to go, we only want to get ones that starts with and whatever our include prefix is. So that's not a map, that's actually a filter. So we only want to get ones that start with our include prefix, and actually has to end with a dot there as well. So we'll just add a little dot there. Otherwise it could be like nested level 12, but nested level 1 would match. So we need to make sure we go right up to the dot. Okay, so that means that we have only got includes that kind of match where we are right now. And then what we want to do is go map over all of these, and this is going to be an include as well. And then what are we going to go? We're going to do a string after we probably need to do a string of include, and then yeah, string stringable. I mean, actually what we might do, just so we can work with objects the whole way down, we're going to map into and we're going to go map into stringable. Is it stringable? Is that what it? Stringable. Illuminate stringable. Yeah. Stringable. Yep. Cool. And that way we're kind of working with a stringable the whole time. Stringable. Yep. And we can just go if because I didn't even do that right. Anyway, starts with, and then I was already acting as if it was a object, but it very much wasn't. So now we can go stringable, and this can be include. It's going to be everything after this include prefix, and end it with our little dot, which is making me start to think we should just kind of append that straight away so that we don't have to do it all the time. So let's actually do that. So if you send us an include prefix, we're going to send that, and we'll automatically add a dot to the end of it so that we don't have to do that each time, because it seems like that's going to be pretty useful. So we'll get rid of that. And after, so we want the include that is after the prefix, but then we also need it to be before the next dot, because you might go deeper and deeper and deeper. So we want everything in there, and I think that might do it. In which case we just, what are we returning from this function? An array. So we just want to go all, and I think that could work. So what we'll do is I kind of want to can I just actually dd this? I think I can. I think that's like a thing. Maybe if it actually ever got to that. Okay, so yep, okay, so it's not never getting to that. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so that's our logic to kind of like get those things, but now what we need to do is tell each sub relationship what it should like nest with. So with this first version that we're building, we're assuming that everything that we're working with is a JSON API resource, even though I can actually get rid of a bit of this stuff, but that's fine. So if it's an instance of that, so past relationships, then to resource identifier, past relationships, gonna map over past includes. Okay, so we get all the relationships. We say that these are the only relationships that we want, and then we call that on them. And I think we could probably go with include prefix, and that would be, what would that be? That would be whatever this relationship is. And I wonder if we get the key here. Like, I know we get the key. I'm just wondering if it's the string and we go key like that. I wonder what that does. Okay, so let's just pass includes. Okay. Do a little debugging here. Get rid of our once helper. Okay, now it's blowing up, which is good. Return value must be of collection. Closure returns. Pass includes. Oh yeah, it is returning a closure. What am I doing? All right, cool. Okay, include. So I've got nested level 1 there, which is exactly what we would think. And then I guess we want to see what are our, oh, okay, yeah, no, I know what's up. We need to also come in here. So I guess this is returning nothing, because on the very first one, we're checking that you return something, but the thing is that there's going to be a whole heap of dots in all here. So we do actually need to, any that starts with this thing. So we don't need to filter. We don't need to filter anything if the include prefix, but we do still need to do this. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll do, what is it just? Lovely, so that's looking good. Okay, so if we get rid of this filter, nested level 1 is happening. So I think it's just this filter that we need to do conditionally. So we'll do a when. So we'll do when this include prefix is not equal to an empty string. Then we want to do this. So we'll do a, I don't think I want two closures on the one thing. So I'll go collection, and go return collection. Rather than collection, I might go includes. Okay. And what is it not happy about? It's got, it wants a stringable, well, it's going to return a collection, so that's the thing. Great. Okay, so array flip can only be used. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to dump each one of these. So nested level 1 is looking good. We need to map it to, and we need to bring back our string. Okay, so what is it not happy about now? So unable to resolve resource object for type null. Okay, so I've broken something. So let's have a little look-see at what it is I have broken. Okay, and we'll come up to the requested relationships. So we'll just do a DD here and just make sure we're getting what we expect. So nested level 1, excellent. And then within, yeah, of course, that is returning void. So we're going to return self, return this. That's a bit happier now. Excellent. Okay. So now I want to actually see what the response is that we're getting. So the actual, so we'll come down to the actual here. So we've got relationships of a nested level 1, which is good. And included. So included, we've got ID, relationships, nested level 2 is in the relationships there. The data, nested level 2, the type is the nested resource. So that's looking good. And then that's that. So that sub resource isn't being included, but everything else looks like it is. So if we just come back to the test, and if I just get rid of this here, so that's working. So excellent. So the last thing we need to do is just this, getting this thing here included. So we've made sure that it's still including this one using this like nested syntax. And now we just need to make sure that nested level 2 is being included. So that means that when we go through the process of getting the nested resource, how do we do that? Pass includes. So it gets the includes, which should be this. Yeah, includes. So what we probably need to do, we need to get all the includes for this, and then for each thing that we're including, we also need to get the includes for that as well. I think that makes sense. So if we actually kill what's coming out of this, we'll see that it is a collection of JSON anonymous resources. So what we should be able to do is go, so our includes are empty. So we might actually, now that we're going to do a little bit of work, maybe we can just do it in line and see what it looks like. I just don't know how readable it's going to be, but we'll just give it a go anyway. So we'll get all the values, and then we're going to go and go through all of these. So we'll go for each of these. We want to do a, I think we want to do a flat map. This is where, yeah, okay, so bear with me for a second. Okay, so I'm actually going to go includes is equal to that, and then is empty. We'll just return it. Otherwise, we're going to go here and go includes values. All right, so we get the includes. Right, should pass includes then go through all of these and get the children includes as well. So potentially. So what we'll do is, let's just, this is where I got to use recursion, and it's going to do my little brain in. I'm not smart enough for recursion. So let's actually go includes here, because it'd be nice if it just did it all and I didn't have to think about it. So if I go dd includes, yep, and just go includes number 1 or number 0th. What key is it? Nested level 1. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, so includes, and then we go nested level 1. And I'm just wondering what happens now if I call pass includes, and we'll pass through the request. We'll have to make this, we won't have to make that protected. We might have to, I was thinking we'll have to make that public, but because we're in the class, we can access the protected methods. So I think that'll be totally fine. And it's going to explode because undefined key nested level 1. Are you sure about that? What was includes? What was in includes? Nested level 1. What am I missing? Nested level 1. That's all right. What happens if I go first? What? That's right. I'll just go values. Interesting. Don't mind me debugging live. Is a collection, and there is an item in there. So I'm not sure why you're saying there isn't. So let's see what's going on here. Looks like it's very much a thing there. And then it's saying, oh, okay. On 110, which is here, you're saying pass includes isn't a thing. I really beg to differ. I was just looking at the thing that's in there. So I know you're in there. JSON API anonymous resource. That's all right. Let's do this instead. So we'll go resource is equal to, okay, and we'll DD this resource. Yep. Can't tell me that doesn't exist. And then we'll go DD resource parse includes. Oh, I know what it's because of the recursion that it's doing it. Okay, I getcha. So we'll just do, and we'll do a dump instead. Don't be like that. First, okay, so if of course, we need to do a need something to actually check that if resource is not equal is equal to null, then we're going to return we'll just return an empty collection. Else we're going to return else we want to do that thing. Great, so we'll just make sure that this is happening here. Yep, so that's been called there, and then we'll check that this is happening in here as well. Do not enjoy doing recursion live because I have no idea what I'm doing. My brain does not work with this one. Cool, so return value must be collection, none returned. So return collect, we'll just return nothing. Cool, collection, it's just an empty bunch of items the whole time, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, okay. Includes with include prefix, because it's going to get that, and then includes, yeah, so yep, okay, if includes is empty, we'll return an empty collection. I think we've been going with new collection, and if it isn't empty, then we want to return includes, and we want to map over all of these. We don't want to map over any of them actually. We just want to dump them out. What do you got for us? Nested level 1, which is exactly what we want, and then what we want to do is this prefix. All right, so we're going to go looping it. All right, so we're only hitting it once, so we get all the includes. Okay, so nested level 2 is in there, which is looking better. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually going to get rid of that test because I'm going to make it assume that we are in fact working with a JSON API resource all the time, just to kind of reduce the complexity for the initial version. So test it can include nested relationships. All right, so what have we got now? So we've got nested level 2 is in the relationships field there. So that's still looking good. Excellent, cool. So lovely. So what I want to do now is when we die and dump here, I want to check, change in here, what is this? What is it? Include prefix. Include prefix. Nested level 1, so that's great, which is exactly what that should be doing. Nested level 1, yep, perfect, perfect. Nested level 1, because we are asking for nested level 1 dot nested level 2, so that's really good. Excellent. Okay, so then when we call include prefix, just going to dump what that's getting. So the first time it gets nested level 1, and then it calls it again, and then the next time it gets nested level 2, which is exactly what we want. So dump, can you actually pass extra variables into public function dump? Public function dump, and we want that on the collection. Just wondering, func get args. Yeah, cool, you can. That's interesting. So I'm going to go static class. And so on anonymous resource, on that one, yep, it does that twice. And then 387, which is another resource, it's doing that. So that's looking like it's working as expected, which is nice. And then this is just, this is the one that's giving me grief. So I'm just going to say that this should be called 3 times, which is expected. Cool. Interesting. So we're still only getting the first one for some reason. So let's what are we going to mix it up and do? Maybe pass include, so we get all the relationships for this thing, and then we go over it. And then for all of those, we need to also get all of those included ones as well. So yeah, okay, so I think this is the parents includes. is that. And then what I need to do is go parent includes, map over those, and go here, and we're going to go, this is a resource. We'll just resource pass includes, and we'll pass through the request there. Just going to DD that because I'm just intrigued by what that is. We'll use the request. Okay. Parents includes, and then return parents includes just for now. Lovely. All right, well, I'm not getting the child's includes, which is interesting. So that's parents includes. So let's just see. So what's the resource? The first resource should be nested level 1. It is nested level 1. Okay, and then when we say pass includes, actually, has nested level 1 got the included prefix is nested level 1 dot, which is good. That's exactly what it should be, and it's the ID of nested level 1. So when we go pass includes and we pass through the request, it's giving us nothing back. So we're missing something there, which is what with that. Relationships. Okay, so we're going to dump this. Yo, recursion does my head in. Nested level 1, nested level, and then we're getting nested level 2. Okay. Because the parents include, so the very first time we do this thing, it's going to have a collection with just one thing in it, which makes total sense. And then with the include key of that, yeah. So it might actually make more sense to kind of do that down here anyway. So it would be like resource with include prefix, and it would be the, so that's the resource and then the key, and this would be the key here. And that's a bit nicer because it's like a bit more readable. Okay, so pass includes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go if this path prefix, what was it? Include prefix is not equal to an empty string. We know we're in our sub resource, so I'm just going to die that. Nested resource 2. Okay, well that's the resource that we want. Is this is because it keeps going down and I'm trying to DD that? Probably. So rather than DDing that, why don't I return that? So we've got includes, and then we're going to called in the parent. So we'll kill includes here. All right, what are we missing here? So parents includes, we flat map over all of those and get that. So what's nothing, nothing, and then the next time it is that, which sounds good to me. And then we'll dump that. So what happens when I don't include that? And it's just that, nested level 2, and then what? Yeah, maybe I should just not use recursion and actually use a while loop. Maybe that would be much smarter. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go includes is an array. We'll do that, pass includes, because each of those is going to go change to words, return. All right, yep, change of course. Let's do a, let's avoid recursion, because again, it's doing my head in and I just don't want to have to deal with it. So instead, what we'll do is we'll get all the includes, and then, and what is that? Is that returning a collection? Yes, it is. So we'll go while, includes is this, so includes is that, yeah, and then we'll go while includes is not empty, and here we're going to have another thing, which is basically our lot of includes. So this is our list to kind of check through. So to check through, let's just call it that for now, and we'll go to check through, and then our includes. No, that's all right. We'll actually do this down here. So we'll go includes is this while that, so includes will be equal to includes, and then merge this pass includes, and don't worry, we'll have a whole bunch of caching on this stuff, so we won't run into performance issues there. So we'll come back here and go includes, and then what we're going to do is while includes, and this is going to be children. You know, we'll make it a new collection, because then we can do some nicer stuff. And while includes is not empty, we're going to get the include is equal to includes dot shift. Okay, and then we're going to go includes. No, we do actually need it to be recursive, because it needs to keep going down the line. Yeah, we do actually need it to be recursive. So I think that's just going to have to, I'm just going to have to get my thinking brain on, take a step, slow down a little bit, and actually work this one out. So the first thing we want to do is we want to say, So these are the includes. If includes is empty, we're going to return, we'll just return includes. That's fine. It can just be return an empty collection. Okay. Otherwise, includes, we want to, why don't we try and just like return map over these, and we'll just go function include parse includes and pass the request through. Include with include prefix, which is this include prefix. And where is that erroring out? That is erroring out on 181. Which is 98. This includes. Okay, so includes is that, so that's good. Level 1 is expected. Okay, that is expected. What is happening here? So, so we're trying to make this one recursive. So we've got two relationships. We request the relationship and we return the value. So that should be good. Then if that is empty, okay, so let's just see, yeah, what are we returning here? It's our collection with our nested resource one, which is exactly what we want. But then what we might do is just see what does this return. So we don't want to map it to that, do we? No, we actually just want to map. So we could even just actually go pass includes. I wonder if we need resource. Yeah, okay. So what are you not happy about? Something. You're not happy about something, but I just can't work you out. Why can't I work you out? So includes, let's do this step by step. Includes is the right thing. So then when we go pass includes, we pass the request through. What is it? Prefix is equal to this. And then otherwise what we'll do, if it this is just the include prefix, not the with include prefix. Does not, what is that on? Yep. Map all of those to whatever pass includes is. Call to undefined methods, which is what pass includes. Yes, it is not happy. Why are you not happy? $387. Include prefix is equal to that. Then that's where we're going to do it. Otherwise, we'll just here we're just going to return the includes as well. Not even worry about going down. But on the first one, I do want to see JSON API resource, and the nested include is nothing yet. So each of these you have to say with nested include prefix is this include prefix. Is now just a dot, but we need it to be so this is the resource and this is the key. It's got to be resource with include prefix, and it's going to be the key. It's actually going to be this. I think I might know what's going on. Resource include prefix. Oh, what did I do? I broke something. Yes, I did. We're gonna go that. Dot nested level 1 dot, which we don't want. With include prefix, which is this, this include prefix, which is nothing. Yep. Include prefix. Yeah, okay, so we'll just bust out a little private function prefix resource, because we're going to need a little bit of logic around this. And so it's if this include prefix is equal to this, not super object orientated here, but we're just gonna roll with it. I guess I could probably handle that up the top there, but I won't for now. So we'll just go resource with IncludePrefix, and we'll just pass the key through. We're going to adjust this. I don't like this at all, but we're just going to deal with it for now. Again, just get that test passing, and then we can make it better as we go. So otherwise, what it's going to be is this IncludePrefix, and then a dot, and then the key. And so what we'll actually do is just go this prefix resource. Again, absolutely hate this, but this is what we're just going to do for now. And then we'll pass the key through as well. And see what that looks like. Nested resource level 1, that's looking much better. So that's good. And then each of those has been prefixed. So then we're going to, okay, so if I actually just come back here and we'll just indent this a little bit. So we've got each of those, and then we'll, so we'll come down here and then we'll map over all of these, and we'll go resource, and we're going to map it to the resource pass includes, and we'll pass through the request. And what do we end up with? That's looking better. So the first collection, okay, so we're getting it. We're getting the nested one there, which is nice. So what we probably want to do is I think a flat map. So we've got nested level 2, and then we don't have nested level 1, which is fine. Okay, so we've got the includes. We're going to map over each of those. So that's good. So we're getting, so that was a bit of a problem that we're running into, was this prefixing. So that looks like that's been solved there. And then when we do loop over these, we do actually get the thing there, which is good. So what is the collection method that I want to use here? Excuse me. Let's have a little look at Laravel.com, and we'll come over to the docs. Okay, so all average, chunk while, collapse. So collapse. So if you've got a bunch of arrays, it just values in there. Okay. So combine, concat. We will want to get rid of duplicates at some point. Flat map. I just want to remember. I hardly ever use flat map, so I'm just trying to remember exactly what it does. So iterates through the collection and passes each value to the given closure. The closure is free to modify the item and return it, thus forming a new collection of modified items. Then the array is flattened by 1 level. Oh, okay. Yep, I see what's going on there. Yep, that's fine. All right. I mean, I feel like we do want to like flatten it out. So we get nested level 2, but if I just map to this, we get nested level 1 and nested level 2 in there. So the items of this is nested level 1. So nested level 1 actually disappears, like the actual value in there, which makes sense. So if we just go values, yep, okay, and we're going to go flat map. what we can probably do is, again, hate this, just bear with me. We'll come back and refactor all of this. So what we can actually do is like this, prefix resource, and do that. We can probably do it all in one go. Oh yeah, prefix resource, so we need the key in there as well. Lovely. So that is working. Cool, and then we just want to go includes, merge that, I reckon. Oh, that's not a method. Merge. Okay, and then we've got. Okay, this is looking good. So we've got our nested level 1 in our relationships, and then in this we should have nested level 2. And where is that? That is in our nested level 2 relationships, nested level 1, nested level 2. So that is coming through there. I just want to see that actual response a little bit nicer. And I'm also thinking I can probably just get rid of that, and let's get this all. All right, that was a little bit crazy. Sorry about that, people. Again, we'll come back and refactor this. I'm not going to stand for having all this noise in here. Okay, so now what we need to do is I want to like dump this response out and just see it a little bit prettier. So we'll go dump this. Okay, what do we got? So we've got our data, we've got our expected ID, which is cool. Hey. Expected ID, we've got our basic resources. We've got attributes, which is name. We've got relationships, nested level 1. And nested level 2 is coming through in the relationships as well, which it shouldn't be. That should be nested in a relationship, but that's all right. We'll just see. Cool. So we do have our included. We do have our nested level 1, which is pretty sick, and nested level 2 is in there. And then in nested level 2, we've got that there. Great. So I think the only problem is that what is happening is for our relationships, pass includes, so when we call that, we need to be able to, when we get the relationships, we only want to get the relationships for the current level that we're at, not all of the nested ones as well. So pass includes, we'll get all the includes, all the nested ones. But so that is working for that, which is very cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust out another method, which is the protected function resolve nested includes. And this is going to return a collection. And this is probably gonna, for now, we're just gonna share the same logic because I just don't care about that right this second. And then this one isn't going to do any of the nesting. Okay, includes, that's looking good. That's looking good. And then we'll come down to this one. Past relationships can still do its thing, but actually we want with, and this will be like resolve nested includes. Okay, and then we're going to go request, and that is now passing. Sweet. We have nested relationships, which is cool. We'll probably need another test to go 3 layers deep and see how that works. But yeah, we've got nested relationships there, so that is very cool. Let's see that test pass, and yeah, and everything else is passing, so we didn't break anything, which is great. So now we should do some refactoring because, like I said, there's a bunch there that I'm really not happy with. So we'll just make our way through here. Okay, so we don't need this to be, we can probably make this private, and all the tests still pass. Okay, and then we're going to come down to with includes. I think that's good. Excellent. Resolve nested includes. Pass includes is good, so we can add that on there, make that happy. Okay, so this stuff here I'm not really happy about, and it would be kind of cool if we could share this logic here. So I guess this is parse includes, and we'll pass through the request, and then everything's still working, which is cool. And then when we do this one, so if it's empty, we return that, but we don't actually need to return that, I don't think. I think we can just, yeah, everything still works. So we're just going to do a flat map here, and this is for the key. So we get the resource, which will be a JSON API resource, and then this is the key. So that's going to be a string always. And then we have to do this little dance here of prefixing the resource. But I think this should, like, we've got a method here with include prefix. So I think this should just kind of handle it, really. And I think all we're trying to do here is just make sure that it doesn't start with a dot. So if we just go, so we want to go prefix this, so with path prefix, so we just want to actually change this around, make it a bit more object orientated, and go prefix resource with the current key. And we want to, but the thing is we need to pass in the current prefix thing as well. So we need to do that whole dance. This is also getting quite big. I'm not loving how long this is. So I'm actually going to change this into a single, like a traditional closure. So that's looking a little bit nicer there in my opinion. So let's do that, and that's going to return that. Wait, we don't want that. Cool, and then what we need to do is this prefix resource. Okay, so prefix resource with included prefix, and then we're going to go private function build prefix, or like what will we call it? Build prefix, make prefix, and we'll pass through the prefix, and this is going to return a string, and then this is going to do that whole prefix resource little dance that we did here. So we'll go so if this current one is equal to that, then we just return the prefix. We just return the prefix as is, and otherwise we will do this business, and we'll see if we can make this more procedural as well, really, which is this. So we'll return that. This include prefix. Lovely. Yeah, look, I think that's fine. We'll have this like make prefix idea. So let's come down here and we'll go this prefix resource with this make prefix. Lovely. That should work. Nope, of course it doesn't, because I broke something. What did I break? Forgot a colon there. Okay. What is it? Prefix resource is still in there. Where are you, prefix resource? Resource. Yeah, we don't want that. We want with include prefix, undefined variable request, and so the last part of that is to just use the request, and that should tie that nicely together. Excellent. Cool. So that should be going pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty sick. So now we can get nested ones. So now I'm very intrigued if we can go deeper, and yeah, just keep on going down. So we're going to have nested level 2, and then we're going to go nested level 3, and let's just see. I'm hoping that will just work, and then we'll try some others as well. So nested level 2 is that's going to return 2 relationships. So we want this one to also return 2 relationships. And then it's going to go nested level 3. We'll find 2 there. And then this one is James in here. Okay, so then what we're expecting now is that there will be nested level 1. So nested level 1 has a relationship of nested level 2. Nested level 2 should now have a relationship of a ID. Is it an I? This is the thing, as I always forget. Relationships is nested level 3, and that is going to have a data, and it's going to have a type is nested resources, and the ID is nested level 3. And then what am I missing there? So nested level 2 relationships. So that is going to be nested level 2. Yep, has that. And under here, we need this to also be, so this will be a empty relationship array there. This is going to be James. We'll go nested level. Okay, so that one is relationships, nested level 3, nested level 3, ID and type, ID type, and then it should have some attributes on there, and it should have an empty relationships key. So I think that looks pretty good. So now we just need to see how that's looking. So nested level 3 is okay. So now okay, so that is working as it was before, but it's not. I didn't solve the recursion, did I? No, I did not. So let's have a little look-see at that. Actually, yeah, so because we're not doing the recursion here, so we do need to resolve the nested includes. Yeah, excellent. Actually, you know what? It's pretty late. I like that we got that like next level of nesting happening. I might actually put a pause on this, and yeah, we'll get the rest of the nesting happening at another time. That was fun. Awesome. Catch you later.